This episode is sponsored by football's ultimate survival game. Let's see who's the final one standing. Welcome people, welcome along to another episode of Fourever Arsenal. We are back here, brought to you today by William Hill's Final One Standing. I don't really want to talk too much after what happened to me on Monday. Manchester United, you absolute criminals, right? I went for Manchester United in William Hill's Final One Standing. An absolute banker, you would think. Leeds United have not won at Old Trafford since 1981. And what do these criminals go and do? They go and lose to Leeds United and everybody. Well, I get knocked out in the first round. I'm still in shock about it. Everybody else, who went against me, they got 98p each. That was 50,597 players. They all got 98p each. That was it. I feel gutted. But there's still beat judges. He luckily, because I know he didn't really study up nothing or anything about his game, he just sort of said, yeah, I'm just going to go for Sunderland to beat Tottenham just because of the hate, right? And he got the result right, and he's still through. And we'll be chatting a little bit about it more later on. But if you want to enter beat judges, it sounds horrible. Right? It starts on Saturday at 3 p.m. You've got to get your entrance in before there. The link is in the description. You've got to be over 18 to play. T's and C's apply, and you've got to be based in the UK and Ireland. So we'll chat a little bit more about that later on when we get into more of our predictions. But want to welcome along Curtis, welcome along Lee, and welcome along Jack. I'm sure you guys have all watched back yesterday's game, the whole 90 minutes, and enjoyed that, right? But we are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League, people, which, I know it weren't the greatest of games, but going to speak to a Real Madrid fan this morning, that was a fantastic game. Brilliant games, great spectacle, but they're out. Go speak to a Barcelona fan. What a fantastic game that was. But they're out. Was it just about getting the job done, or did you want to see a big performance? Because we know, and we're going to chat about this a lot later, on the weekend is a massive, massive title game against Manchester City away from home. And we didn't really get a performance to inspire us ahead of that game. But we're through to the semi-final, Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically doing a double watch along. I had the pain of Arsenal on the left, and I had the excitement of Madrid on the right. So I just had to balance out the two, really. I don't know about you. I don't know what it was like in the stadium. When the full-time whistle went, I just sort of didn't really react. I was just like, oh, the game's over. We're in the semi-final.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I was obviously happy that we're in the semi-final, but I think I'm just lacking that belief at the moment that I believe we're going to get over the finish line. So it's like I'm not getting excited about it. So it was all about qualifying, because if you win a competition, nobody really looks back at the previous rounds and cares how you got through. And we've had a tough few weeks. We could be having a very different show today if we'd been knocked out. So we can't downplay how important we don't reach semi-finals that often in the Champions League, so we have to praise that achievement. It's just we've got to go up a level, maybe two levels. Man City and Atletico Madrid. I don't know if you heard Thierry Henry on CBS. He was saying, you can talk about fire, Mikel, but you got to show fire on the pitch. And I think Micah Richards said as well, that performance last night, you can't put that in against Man City. They'll beat you. It's just the attack for me at the moment. I've said it so many times on this show. I think I was looking, we've scored 3 goals in our last 5 games, which is just, for Arsenal, is very strange. And the lack of chance creation at the moment doesn't seem to make much difference who's on the pitch. I actually thought last night Gabriel Jesus showed a little bit on that left-hand side. I know it was only a short period of time, but I thought he showed a little bit. And I remember a few years ago against City, we played him on the wing and he did really well against Vardy. And, with Max Dowman, it's sort of gone from bring him on to give him a few minutes just so we can get excited to watch him, to bring him on to rescue our attack is almost the point now. When he comes on now, I'm thinking, he needs to save us because the rest of them aren't performing. So, look, the positive of last night was a clean sheet. We need to keep clean sheets. And I thought Mosquera and Nkapie helped the two centre-backs. We looked a little bit more solid. And obviously against Semenyo and Doku at the weekend and Haaland, we're going to need that solidarity. So, look, we have to be happy we're in the semi-final, but they've got to go up a level. You can't stumble over a finish line in a Champions League or a Premier League. They're going to have to perform better if they're going to win one of those two.
No one doesn't even want to talk.
I mean,
you're still in shock probably from going to the game last night, aren't you? You two especially.
Lee, I was going to let Lee go. He looked like he was about to explode, but
No, I'm just actually sitting there listening to it. What Curtis has said, I can't disagree with a word that's being said. How did we feel after the game? Exactly what you said. I just turned around to my mate, shook their hands, and said, we're in the semi-final, and off I popped. I didn't wait to, the euphoria of all the players going round and going absolutely mad about it and all that. And I weren't the only one that would done that. Everybody was sort of doing it. I do think there's a little bit of Saturday still in the system of a lot of fans. I do think that was a massive disappointment, and I felt that going into the game. Mate turned around to me and said, "Wow, what a difference a year makes." And that's why I sort of said what I said on the my interview yesterday. He went, this time against Real Madrid, we was all going mad and ecstatic about it, and but ultimately we didn't get through, did we? So it didn't really matter, because we went out to PSG in the last round. But I think what we've got to get into context about this, and the objects of playing sport in over two games is to get through. And I've heard a lot of people criticise Arsenal, and probably I'm going to say it like we have as well, But at the end of the day, you've got two teams make a game. And Sporting showed no ambition whatsoever in both games. Let's be real honest, they didn't really go for it last night. That was even the game against Chelsea. Do you remember the semi-final? Very similar to that, but at least in the last 10 minutes, everybody criticised Chelsea for it. They went for it in the last 10 minutes instead of the last 45. This is a team, by the way, in Porto that
Sporting
are under no pressure like Arsenal. If they go out on their sword in the quarterfinals, everybody's going to go, "Oh, well done, got to the quarterfinals," but they never did. So I look at the other games. Real Madrid. Let's just take Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Before that tie kicked off, there'd have been 50% people saying Bayern Munich, 50% saying Madrid, and I think that's how that game ended up. It was two great teams going for it. You can say the same about Madrid, Barcelona as well. When I look at the other two games, Liverpool and PSG and us, I think there was a massive gap between the two teams, PSG and Liverpool. It was comfortable for PSG, and at the end of the day, it wasn't comfortable for us. But we wasn't really tested in that game. And I look back at it, and I don't care. I don't care that we weren't tested. You know what I mean? I'm quite happy that we weren't tested. I didn't want to go through. Did we go through the ringer like we did against Everton? No. Did we go through the ringer like we did against Bournemouth? No. It was quite a comfortable 0-0 result. And as I said before, I did say I'm not even thinking about going to this game, possibly not going to this game, for the exact reasons that it was. I said, I think me and Jack, I think we all predicted 1-0, didn't we, or whatever, it was a 1-0 or a 0-0 game. And I just look at it and go, look, I get it. We want to see Arsenal play a lot better and play really, really well and all that, but if we would have gone for it last night and left ourselves open, people would have said, "What are we doing? What are we doing?" I think at the end of the day, you go, just forget about it. It was a professional performance yesterday. And do you know what? One thing I actually thought about this on the way home. Like, after the Bournemouth game, we're all going mentally gone. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't got the, whatever for it, and like, blah 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 blah. Yesterday, there weren't no head loss in that performance. There was head loss in the way we played against Bournemouth, and I'm scratching my head and all that. Yesterday was a calculated 0-0 bore. And I get it. I got on the train last night, met some lovely people, and basically saying, look, I paid £90 for that. That's their first game for the season, first time they got on the ballot and whatever. £90, and I expect a little bit more. And you have to go, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it is, you know what I mean? Like, would you have loved to have seen a 4-2 defeat, got entertained, got your £90 worth, or would you like to skip through to the next round? And we've got to put that into perspective. It's not great to watch at the moment. But I'll tell you this now, guys. If we go up to Man City and produce a performance up there and we play really, really well and we win, we'll look back and go over this week and go, wow, that was a great performance at Man City. Professional job to get us onto the semi-final, and on we go again. So I think that this result and performance will be forgiven a little bit more if we go and do the business on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, hard to disagree as well. But I see you guys say we had one objective last night, and that was obviously to qualify. And first of all, it's Martin Zubimendi. I'd like to apologise. He shut me up. He shut me up last night, which I wanted to, and I love to be proved wrong by the players. I love to be proved wrong by Mikel Arteta. I love it.
Well, listen, I wouldn't say he should apologise because he was still awful on the weekend. What you say is he stepped up, so that's what we want to see.
My point, I think, because I've never questioned his quality because he's already showed his quality at the start of the season. We know how good he can be. We all know how good he can be. But my point that I've sort of berated for him in the last episode was I don't think he had the bottle. And I think the amount of Arsenal fans that were onto him in the past couple of days, the amount of posts I've seen, the amount of media stuff I've seen specifically about Zubimendi, myself included, for him to come out and put in a performance like that in a Champions League knockout game where the whole team isn't performing, I was happy with it. And I managed to get to the game last night. So it was good to watch. And Champions League man of the match, he's got to take that. But that's one objective, getting through. And obviously, really happy to be in a Champions League semi-final. I think I said in the chat, it's something we used to dream of as fans back in the day of, Champions League semi-final. We're sat here in the Europa League struggling. But there was sort of a second objective last night that I thought the team had to hit, and I feel like we were so far off it, and that was to give the fans some confidence going into the weekend. And that performance, I know it's calculated, I know we're through, but I mean, 57 minutes, 44 seconds, Madueke does a step over and the ball goes out for the pitch again. It's happened again. I'm looking at things that are happening again. Martinelli, Gyokeres, and Madueke up front, again, on the pitch together, 0 goals scored. Something that we've seen all season. I think we averaged like 0.2 goals a game when them guys are on the pitch through the three of them. And it just annoyed me that I thought maybe there might have been a spark after Bournemouth, maybe a kick up the backside from Arteta, and some things might have changed. I mean, Mosquera coming in at right back was good. I thought Mosquera had a good game. He looked solid. He's someone that maybe I would start the weekend if Timber's not fit. I think he gives me a bit more confidence than Ben White at this point in time. But yeah, it's so weird feeling that we're in a Champions League semi-final, and I used to be buzzing for these, and now I'm sat here thinking, like Lee said last night, the whistle goes, and I'm just sort of like, nice, we're through. What's happening in the other game? And you compare that to last year, and obviously you're playing Real Madrid, so emotions are always going to be higher, but it felt like carnival after getting through versus Real Madrid. Everyone's outside the next day in their Arsenal shirts. Everyone's asking, did you watch the Arsenal game? Oh my God, can you believe it? And now we're just sat here going, yeah, we're through. Probably going to lose to Bayern Munich or PSG if we get them.
Miserable.
What's happening in Man City? And that's how I feel. Maybe I'm feeling wrong, but I know Thierry Henry felt pretty much exactly the same after the game. And I'll tell you who else looked like they felt quite similar.
Right, time to drop this one. Another Ryan special. The style of play police. There you have them. The free.
No, Bridget, don't call me no police, no brother.
Police boy. No police boy. But hey, I mean, I'll take the style of police play at this point in time. Jesus, after last night. But
He's criminal.
He is a criminal.
It is criminal. You know what? The day Ryan leaves this company, mate, I'll be celebrating.
We did the Henri knee slide. I just wanted to say,
no present. I'll tell you that. Like, you know what I mean?
I just wanted to finish up with. Obviously, I had felt how I felt. Thierry Henry seemed to mirror a lot of my feelings on the game after, and the only one that worried me was Declan Rice. I mean, his reaction after the game as a player that's just played in a Champions League quarter-final and just gone through, he almost looked depressed after the final whistle. He didn't even smile. He just stood there with his hand on his hips, just looking up, and he gave off the image that, boys, that was not good enough. Like, if we're going to keep playing like this, then God help us. And I don't know, even if his post-game interview, he's sort of saying, I watched it back, and he was saying, like, the interviewer was asking him, like, was that a frustrating game? And how do you think about that? And he sort of sat there going, and he looks like he doesn't even want to, he looks like inside, he just wants to say, yeah, that was awful. I don't know what we're going to do at the weekend. But he sort of hit back with, I can't be frustrated. We're in a Champions League semi-final. There's worse things going on. We're the only English club in there. As Arteta said, that all these clubs are fighting to be where we are at the moment. So we have to take pride in that. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. I feel bad that I don't feel ecstatic that we're in a Champions League semi-final.
I
feel like I should be buzzing.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, how you feel, because, listen, we wanted to see a big performance ahead of that City game. It's natural. The expectations were different in that we were playing Sporting. People expected us to go through. Whereas last year against Real Madrid, everyone expects us to go out. So when we got that draw, so we can and like Lee said, it's coming off the back of that Bournemouth game. But the reality of it as we wake up this morning is we're through to a semi-final. We're through, and I think it's because we know what's coming up at the weekend. But we're through to a semi-final. And I was chatting to a mate of mine this morning. He's there trying to rib me, and he's a United fan. He's trying to rib me and gut me. I'm saying, well, number one, you ain't in it. Worry about your own thing. But number two, we're the only English club that are still left in it. He said to me, oh, yeah, but, you had the easy. This is the other thing. You had the easy. I said, well, we earned that, right? Are people forgetting that, Manchester City, they're not in it. They're out. They went, and the reason why they didn't earn a more favourable draw is because they lost away to Bodo Glimt, where Haaland was saying, I'm going to give everybody their money back who came to watch us. We were that bad, right? And they got lost at home to Bayer Leverkusen. So we got to take it. Listen, not every single game is going to be a performance. The style of play weren't great. The one, my positive from yesterday is the defence. Yes, attacking-wise, we didn't look great, that's for sure. But defensively, we looked back to sort of how we've been playing for a lot of this season. And let's really be honest, what has got us where we are this season really has been our defending, isn't it? It has been, whether we like it or not, the defence, the organisation, and that has kind of got us into the positions where we are this season. It hasn't really been the attack. So we've got to get that defence, because if we're real, the defence, we all focus on the attack against Bournemouth, but the defence was shocking as well. We slow, the way we moved the ball, the amount of misplaced passes, the second goal, the way they just run through. We haven't really seen that a lot. So getting that defence solid. I mean, we've been missing Timber. I thought, like you said, Jack, Mosquera did really well in there, and I want to see him. If Timber's not back, I definitely want to see him starting on Sunday. But yeah, there's a lot to do for that game on Sunday. Although, if that ended up 0-0, I'd take that and all right now. I mean, we were asking the question last night: would you cash out with a draw right now? And I said I'd take it right now. However, it's a big game at the weekend now. This is behind us. We know we're going to have Atletico. The weekend now is looming. I'm going to touch on it in a minute. Just before we do that, I want to ask you guys, Atletico Madrid in the semi-final. I want to get your guys' feelings on that. I've been to Atletico Madrid away before when Arsenal played there. Very, very hostile place. Very difficult place to play. I think we lost there 1-0, Lee. Am I right?
Yeah, 1-0, 0-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
Was it 0-0 over here? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
and then they went through, you know what I mean? Like,
they had someone sent off, didn't they, in the first game? We didn't material.
Say that again?
Get it over the line. I remember.
Say that again? We what, sorry?
I think, didn't they have someone sent off or something?
Yeah,
Like towards
Juanfran, and then
Yeah.
Thomas Partey played
Yeah,
right back
yeah.
for them.
Yeah,
So-
we didn't capitalise on it, and it was
Yeah.
listen,
Tough
it was
game.
very
What are your
difficult.
guys feeling on it? Because listen, if we get past them, we're into a final.
Well, my we had a little bit of banter, didn't we, on the WhatsApp group? Because I actually said that Barcelona would get through, and Robbie said Madrid. So within 5 minutes, it's 2-2. I said, the Robbie Lyle curse was there again. Like, you know what I mean, didn't hear from him all game, lads, did we? Until it got through, and he said, "They are. You got mouth judges and all that, like, you know what I mean, like." But if I've been really honest, I don't know how you guys feel. And I'm not having if Barcelona don't get those two players sent off in both games, they probably go on and win it. In saying that, the reason they got that player sent off because they were so high and taking risks and all that, like, you know. So I think they're both vulnerable. I'm going to say this now, like the last time they come to North London, if Spurs would have got that next goal, they went 1-0 up, if you remember right. If Spurs would have got the next goal, so I think Spurs would have beaten them. Right, they was all over the place, so they can be got at. That's my point. But dare I say it, if you get to a semi-final, you've got to be doing something right, and they got there. And if you look at it on paper, they've beaten Spurs home and not lost to them, beaten them in the round of 16, and then they've gone and beaten one of their rivals. You know, I think at the end of the day, you've got to give credit for them for doing that. Like, you know, like what Rafinha said, you know what I mean? Now they're going to probably come up the Arsenal, you're going to go out. So, listen, I think that does this tie. So, after watching both teams, I'm going to I would prefer Madrid. I'll say that. I think like Barcelona have got the capabilities of absolutely destroying you. I know that Madrid have as well. They've got players in there, but I think that our defence can handle them probably a little bit better than Barcelona's. That's all I'm saying. So I think at the end of the day, Madrid, I'm out of two. I'm pleased. They're both going to be hard, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm quite happy that we got Madrid.
Yeah. Listen, I said all along I didn't want Barcelona. I just think their attack is ferocious when it clicks. You look at the Spanish league as well. I think Barca are over 20 points clear of Atletico Madrid. I don't think it will be an exciting semi-final. I think it could be, quite defensive. Atletico are a bit more attacking than people give them credit for. I think Simeone's changed a little bit now. But I agree with you. I don't think their defense is that great. They're well organized. They've got a good system, but they can be got at. You even look at that game the other night. Barcelona should have scored again when I think it was Fermin Lopez, the header. They could have put that game out of sight. So it's just the away legs first, isn't it? I think so. We go to Madrid first. It's about managing that game. Get out of there with a win or a draw. And then you've got to get them back to the Emirates. And listen, I think if we was offered Atletico at the start of the season in a semi-final, we'd have said, yeah, I'll take that. If you can avoid Bayern, PSG, Madrid, or Real, all those teams, I think this is a massive opportunity for us. And I'll be honest, I really do. Once you're in a final, even out of form and not playing great, anything can happen. So we've got to get to that final somehow. We've got to get through. So yeah, I'm happier with Atletico than Barca. I didn't want to play Barca.
Yeah, I think it is just the key focus. I mean, I'd love a 0-0 ball draw like last night away at Atletico Madrid. I think we'll be through if we do one of them at Atletico. I think they're really strong at their stadium. Their crowd is really up for the games. I think we go to that away leg first, which is, like you said, we earned the right to play that first. And we should be happy we have to go there first rather than them come here and then take us back to their stadium. I don't know, man. I'm pretty confident we'll go through. Maybe I don't know how I'm sat here saying I'm so confident after watching us struggle with Sporting, but I don't know. Maybe the 4-0 earlier in the season gives me a bit of hope. And like you guys just said, I think defensively organised, unbelievable, world class, you'd say. But I think individual quality wise, their defenders, it's not the Atletico Madrid of the past. It's not the Godins, etc. I do think we have a bit of a quality gap in terms of individual. Obviously, they've got Alvarez, they've got Lookman, but yeah, I think we'll be a bit too much for them. Yeah, but even then, Sorloth reminds me a bit of Gyokeres, to be fair. But I don't know. I'm pretty confident. I think you don't lose away, and we're through. I think it would be as simple as that. So yeah, I fancy us.
Yeah, is it strange with Atletico? Like, I was just looking at the table. They finished 14th in the table. So that's a great win for them over Barca. But I think Barca did self-destruct, 2 sending offs in 2 games. And you're right, Curtis. When I look at it, you know, it's weird because normally they're built upon this really. They're what we are at the moment. Normally, you know what I mean, built upon this real solid defense, real difficult team to play against. But then now they're sort of got a great attack, where they can score goals and kind of free scoring, but they leak a lot of goals, like you said, Lee. Even against Tottenham, even in that game when they were like, even after the keeper had been throwing the goals in, they still conceded 2 at home against Tottenham, and then they lost I know the tie was kind of effectively over, but I think you can score goals against them, and yeah, it's going to be. Listen, if we can get to a final, like you said, you know, we know it's going to be one of 2 unbelievable teams in the final, either Bayern or PSG. Both of them brilliant teams. But like you said, is as we saw in our final the other day, it's who turns up. And you know, so listen, there's a chance, but let's put that to side for 1 minute, right, and focus upon the task at hand this week, because this is another, almost like a final. Manchester City away from home. If we lose this game to Manchester City, they are breathing right down our neck. Then they'll have that game in hand that they'll be playing against Burnley next week. They win that, they're a level on points on us. And then all of a sudden, it's alarm bells, bottling it, panic. Even if we lost the game, all the noise is going to be negative right around Arsenal. If we win the game, it swings the other way. Everybody starts saying, well, actually, Arsenal going to win this league. You know what I mean? They've now won that game. You know what I mean? It's a completely different complexion on it. We're 6 points clear. We got, the narrative will be completely different. If we draw the game, you've got to say that's still advantage Arsenal, because there'll be a 4-point gap. So it's such a big game. Sky TV could not have hoped for a better scenario than this game coming up this weekend. They must be absolutely jumping up and down in those Sky studios. But this is a chance for both teams. Chance for Man City to bring it back level and really have a big chance of winning this league and putting serious pressure on, hoping that Arsenal crack. And it's a chance for Arsenal to actually, they could effectively, even though it wouldn't be over, they could effectively put distance where you're starting to think, and hey, you know what? I'm going to win it. What sort of performance do you think is required up there, Curtis? What do you think we need to go up to Manchester City and do? If you were the manager and you were focusing upon what we're going to need to do to win that game, what would your tactics be for this game on Sunday?
Maybe don't turn up, just get the game called off. No, listen, man. I said it in the last show. this needs to be Wiltord. This needs to be Michael Thomas. Like, I heard Thierry Henry saying last night, he said, look, people are talking about a draw. Go there and beat them. Do you know what I mean? If you go there and play for a draw, you'll probably lose. So listen, you've got to balance it. You don't want to go toe-to-toe. You don't want a basketball match where it's end-to-end because their attack is on fire at the moment and ours isn't. You need to be disciplined, frustrate them, but we can't play like we played in that cup final where they turned up with a game plan. We had no answer for it.
What would you, I'm asking you that, Curtis. What would be your game plan?
I think you've got to frustrate them, but hit them on the break. You've got to hurt them. When you get a chance to attack Man City, you've got to hurt them. You've seen even teams like Forest and Sunderland and, we've nicked draws off them. When they hit them on the break, they get numbers forward with pace. I just felt in the cup final, we were too slow. The tempo was slow. We never laid a glove on them, apart from the Havertz chance early on. So I think you've got to sit in, be disciplined, frustrate them. And then any chance you get on the break, you've got to go for them on that counter-attack and, try and... Everyone at the moment is saying, if you lose to City, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to flip the mindset and say, if we beat Man City this weekend, I think we've got one hand on the trophy. We really have. Do you know what I mean? If we win. In fact, I'd go as far as to say if we beat them, but you'd pretty much say we're there, almost. Obviously, the flip side is if they beat us, you'd say they probably become favourites. We'd take a draw. If you offered me a 0-0 now, I'd take it. You know what I mean? I'd take a point. But I think Arsenal have got to view this as an opportunity more than a problem. I think after the Bournemouth game, we're all dreading that Man City game. This is effectively a cup final, and they've got to show something. I think Arteta's got to change the team selection for me. If you turn up, Jack said it there, Madueke and Martinelli and Gyokeres as a front three does not work. It just doesn't. There's no creativity. We don't look like scoring. I think he's got to change it a little bit. The team selection in that front line is going to be interesting because I just think he's got to do something different. Is Saka going to be back as well? There's rumours. I don't know if you guys have seen these rumours saying that Saka could be out for the season. I hope that's not true, but he's obviously damaged his Achilles, according to the manager. But I think he's got to mix up that front three a little bit. I don't know what you guys would go with, but honestly, Noni, I've lost any faith I had. He's just disappeared with that guy. The lack of end product. He actually wasn't our worst player last night. He had a few good runs, but honestly, I'd be tempted to play Jesus on the left. I know people might think that's a gamble, but I'm just not seeing anything from Trossard and Martinelli. Jesus, former club. I would play Gyokeres through the middle. I know some of you might not agree with that, but I just think these are games you bought him for, and Havertz, I don't really believe in Havertz. And then on the right, the right is difficult. Is he going to trust Max Dowman against City from the start? It'd be a massive gamble, but I think it would. I think the fans would be enthused if they saw him on the right. But I just can't see Arteta going for that. I think he'll play Noni if Saka's not fit. And then Eze's got to obviously play in the 10. And then he'll go Zubi and Rice. So, yeah, for me, I think just one of the wingers has to change. You can't play Martinelli and Noni. It just doesn't work. There's no service. So, yeah. Don't know what you guys think.
Do you know, you might find this a little bit strange, but for me, the first player I put on the team sheet is Martinelli. Not for his attacking qualities, but for his defending. I think, like yesterday, I think he's getting a lot of praise because of his defending side of the game yesterday. Could have gone 1-0 down if it weren't for that tackle yesterday when they caught on the break on us. It was brilliant. So I think you have to start him on the left. On the right, if Saka is fit, we don't know what's going on there. Like, I would take the gamble, but if not, I think you got. For me, I'm playing Jesus there or Madueke.
Oh,
and up front,
not Dowman.
No, I'm not going to play down like, you know what I mean? I'll tell you why I'm not going to play down, because I think at the end of the day, first 20, 25 minutes of this game, we've got to keep it tight and defend. And I don't know how physically he can do that at this moment in time. He can do it going forward, but I think that we need to. At the end of the day, they need to beat us. You know what I mean? So they're going to have to come and maybe take a few more risks. So I know if we go gun-ho and we leave things at, you know, if we go down early. So if we're down early at half time, he comes on straight away at half time. Like, but if we you know, keep it tight. But we've got to look to have threats, boys. We've got to look to have, when we get the ball, we've got to keep the ball and then have threats. And I'm for this game here, I'll be very, very surprised if Havertz isn't up top. Very, very surprised, because I looked at Gyokeres yesterday, like, and if we needed goals, he plays, but we don't need goals. We need someone that's, when the ball goes up there, it's going to stick. I watched it yesterday. You know, he's isolated. The way we play, we're isolated. We need someone that's going to be able to hold the ball and then wait, and so the players can get in, get close. What happens is it goes up to Gyokeres and it breaks down, and we're not getting up there. So I would go with Havertz in this game. And if things are not going well, then you bring on someone like Gyokeres for 20, 25 minutes to go. And I think, like, you know, you start lumping balls in there, it's not pretty or whatever. That's what I would do. I also think what we need is the key player for us in this game is going to be who plays in midfield, because and I'm going to go with Eze now. Like, people are going, oh, Eze played well yesterday and all that, all right? He done okay yesterday. But if Martin Odegaard put in Eze's performance yesterday, people are going, well, I want more. I want more from Odegaard. But what we need from Declan Rice and particularly Eze is ball carrying. What you've got to do against City is get someone who's got to beat the press and then run the ball. So we've got to have ball. That's where Declan Rice comes into it, and get at their two central defenders from the middle. So I would keep it very, very tight at the back. Going to say yesterday, massive respect for Nketiah again. I thought he was brilliant again yesterday, like his tackles and all that. Like, you know, if he can stay off a yellow card, like, you know, I look back at that cup final, and I see everybody, like, and even on Saturday, like, referee, I know, like, Ty went mad about and all that, but there was definitely like, oh, right, we'll let it go. But in that cup final, we could have let that tackle go, but he didn't. He kept letting it off with Bernard Silva, but he never let it off with Nketiah. So if Nketiah can stay off the booking, I think, and get really tight on Semenyo, I think that'd be good there. Love to see Timber back, but I don't know if I would take the risk. Been out 5 weeks now. He's been out, Timber. It's a long time to come back and play. So I would go with Mascara again. I thought he'd done very, very well. Keep that back four the same. And if things are not going well and all that, get Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, getting the ball and running at players. That is something we've got to do. I do think our tactics has got to change slightly in this game, and the mentality of it all, like, you know. Now, if it was the other way round and we needed to win this game, for me, Downman would start. But we don't need to win this game. I think we've got to get that into our heads. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to win it, but we've got to go up there to win it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it ain't like, let's go gun-ho and all that. And do you know what? I think, the more I think about it, the way that this game pans out suits Arteta more than if we had to go and win the game, or it was like a draw's no good for each other. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think, like, it will suit us a little bit more, like, you know. We don't have to be gun-ho. He can have that cautious bit to his game. So, yeah, I think that's how we've got to play it, like, you know what I mean? I just think that we've Havertz in there, he just knits everything together just so we can keep the ball. What we don't want, and I don't mean this nasty to Gyokeres and all that, every time it goes up, they keep winning it and it keeps coming back. When it goes up there, we've got to have a breather. We've got to have someone on the ball who's going to stay on the ball. Trossard done that well yesterday for the last 20 minutes. He kept the ball, like, you know what I mean? But he never looked like he was going to go. So he may go with Trossard as well up there, like, you know. The right side's a bit of a problem, isn't it? If I'll be honest,
Yeah.
we're a little bit worried what we're doing here. Noni's injured, might be injured. Like, you know, I thought he done okay yesterday. He only run the ball out once yesterday, Jack. He done okay yesterday. You know what I mean? So, but it doesn't look like he's going to do anything. Like, you know, and I just think, like you say, the front three's not scoring, so something's got to change up there. So for me, would be Havertz.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Saka, Gyokeres, and Martinelli. I
Think
think
Saka
that'll
will
be
be
the
back?
starting. I think the starting front three. I'm happy to put my head on the line here. Will be Saka, Gyokeres, and Martinelli.
What have you heard?
Hey, I haven't heard from a mate like Lee. I'm just gonna tell you that I think it will be Saka, Gyokeres,
Yeah, but
Martinelli.
why are you so confident? You've got some intel or something. I know you know people. What?
I think it will be Saka, Gyokeres, Martinelli. I think the midfield.
Hold on. Why? Why Saka? Like he's been out for so long.
I just believe maybe I hear stuff. Who knows? I think it will be Saka, Gyokeres, Martinelli. The reason I want Gyokeres over Havertz is I agree with everything Lee said. I think that, especially in the cup final, the amount of balls that went over to the top and Gyokeres was doing nothing with it. I agree. But I'm probably in the mindset maybe a bit different, and maybe it's a bit stupid of me that I don't think we should go in it even thinking about a draw. I don't think we can go into this thinking, oh, well, if we get a draw, it's not all over. I think you just got to go in. I think Omri said again last night, where's that fire? Where's that fire that Arteta was talking about it? Go for it. You know what? If a draw is not going to win us the league, a draw is not going to win us the league. It's going to give us an extra chance to go and win the league, but it's not going to win us the league. A win, on the other hand, like Curtis said, that's one hand on the trophy, in my opinion. I think there's such little games left for them to flip it from there is going to take, well, probably pretty much have to lose every game left. And I don't think we will do that. We got Burnley at home and stuff like that coming up. I think we'll be all right. So, and we bought Gyokeres for this reason. We bought Gyokeres because we couldn't score enough goals with our striker last season. So, and I don't know, Kusanov for Man City, I think is a quality centre back. But I think if you were to look at all his weaknesses and Gyokeres' qualities, I think Gyokeres suits playing a smaller, sort of neater centre back rather than someone big that can just stick on him and throw him off when he's trying to get the ball. So I'd go, and especially because they're at home, they do have that thing of they need to attack us. There's going to be a bit more space in behind for Gyokeres. Not that he's shown us anything recently, but I've just got to trust it. I've got to trust in him. I think that's the reason we bought him. He's still our top goal scorer. He's still scored more goals than I think any striker in Europe in 2026. So you've got to have a bit of trust. And this is the game where you can shut everyone up and sort of say, yeah, I am the striker. Martinelli, purely because, once again, if Trossard starts, won't really care. It's a flip of the coin one. But yeah, I think defensively, he's a bit better than Trossard. And Trossard on that counter-attack last night in the last minute sort of annoyed me a bit. So that's why the coins flipped the other way. Midfield picks itself at the moment. Eze, Zubimendi, Rice. Yeah, like I said earlier, Zubimendi had a good game yesterday. So he showed he does have a bit of mental fortitude about him to shut the noise out. So yeah, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze. Defensively, I think keep saying back four, don't you? Hincapié, Saliba, Gabriel, and Mosquera. I mean, I wouldn't be against Ben White playing, but I think Ben White recently has just not been at it. I don't know if that's just, everything of the past 4 or 5 years catching up with his knees and his legs. He's not quite got it as how we're used to seeing Ben White. Whereas Mosquera, on the other hand, looks a bit more solid. He's a bit quicker. But then he's probably going to be up against Doku, who's probably the most direct winger in Europe. So will a centre, and obviously I know Ben White was a centre back at first, but he's pretty much a right back now. Will a centre back, quite a tall centre back, be able to deal with a winger running at him for 90 minutes directly? I don't know. It's a bit of a risk to play either. I think they've both got their positives and negatives. Obviously, yeah, David Raya in goal, no Kepa this time. That's definitely going to help in terms of building up from the back. But yeah, man, I'm pretty. I just want to go for it. Maybe I'm silly, and maybe going for it gung ho is the wrong thing, because that would, if we do lose, then we'll be sat here going, "Oh, why do we go so open?" And if we don't go for it, then we're going to be sat here saying, "Why do we sit back? We're trying to win a league." I don't think there's 100% correct way to sort of say you want to go for this game, but I just think try and show something. I think the media has been going on all season that Arsenal have to go and win it. It's not on anyone else to go win it for us. And if you go and beat Man City away with 4 or 5 games to go, that's you going to grab the title. And I think we got to set up for that.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, one thing. Sorry, Rob. Just one thing I want to say. On what you know about fire and everything. What Jack was saying there. If Odegaard's fit, if Saka's fit, if Timber's fit, I don't want all this cagey stuff on a Friday. I want them out there in training, showing it. So it just shows, you know what I mean, like that it's just sending a message that we're not. Well, do you know we don't know. We're waiting on that. Like, no, they're fit. We're ready for you. So, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I want that sort of attitude. Like, you know, I mean, I don't want to. It's 50-50. It's days and all that. If they're fit, I want to see them out there on Friday. So it just gives everybody a little bit of a boost and just says to everybody, look, we're at. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, send a message. I don't want to see all this old cagey sort of stuff. No, they're fit. We're ready for it, sort of thing, like, you know.
No,
He won't tell us anything,
No,
man. He ain't going to say nothing.
It's annoying. It's very annoying. It's getting to the stage where I feel very annoyed by it and frustrated when you turn up to a game and then he's person that you thought might be playing's out. You're not even in the squad. Let's cut this rubbish now, right? We're near the end of the season. Just tell us what's going on. And for me, you know what, right? Whatever tactics we adopt for that game, I think the key thing that I want to see is bravery. So if you know, because it doesn't matter whether you're going there to attack, and I'm with you guys. I want us to go there with a mindset of winning the game. Now, the mindset of winning the game doesn't necessarily mean going there and being gun ho. The mindset of winning the game is we've got a game plan to win the game, but that game plan has to be executed in a method of no fear. So if you know, Zubimendi, I want to see you get on the ball and be confident. If there's a space, drive into it. If there's, you know what I mean? Eze, take a few risks, have some shots from range if the chance is there. If you get the ball into your feet and you see your runner, get the ball off early. You know what I mean? Let's see some 1-2 touch football. I just want to see it executed without fear. If we go up there and we carry on scared and that and playing with like the weight of the, you know, everybody on top of us, right? Then we will not win that game. We've got to go there and play without fear. I saw on Monday, I know it's not as good a team, but if you're putting it in the context, it's similar, right? Leeds United went to Man United on Monday. The same game cost me the final one standing. But one thing I really admired about their performance, right, is that they went there and they're like, yo, you know what, we've got a game plan, and we're going to step on United right from the beginning. And they surprised United. They could have been 3-0 up at half-time. The game was effectively dead once they got that second goal. And I was shocked. I was like, wow, what a brave performance. The way they got on the ball, I hadn't really seen that from Leeds. But they obviously went there saying, this is our game plan. This is what we're going to execute. We ain't going to be scared of United. We ain't going to be scared of the fact it's Old Trafford and they've been on this great run there. And we think we can get something out of it. And they did. And I think that's the same sort of thing that Arsenal are going to have to do when they go to Man City. Be brave. It's a good City team, we know. They really are on form. But really, truly bring the fire. Remember certain things, the chirky kicky ups and, you know, and have it in your mind as an Arsenal player that, you know what, these guys, they actually think they're going to thrash us. They actually think that we're wilting. You know, these guys are drinking bottles and that. Let's go up there and let's put on a performance. And as I said, a performance doesn't have to mean going mad and leaving yourself wide open. A performance, as I said, can just be a calculated. Look at Bournemouth. That was a well-executed game plan by Bournemouth, wasn't it? When they had to defend, they defended well. When their chances came, they attacked well. I mean, it was as bad as we played, they executed their thing brilliantly. So we need to go and do the same. We really do, right? Because I think if we go there and we're scared and we're fearful, we're not winning that game. If we go there and we're, you know what, we're gonna play without fear. We're gonna play like we're champions elect. Then we can get a result out of that game because we know they're a great side. And we know it's difficult under any circumstances. But, you know, Forest went there and got a draw. West Ham got a draw against them. Real Madrid beat them over 2 legs. They're not unbeatable. Bodo Glimt beat them. I know that weren't at the Etihad. Leverkusen went there. I mean, they're not, you know what I mean? They're a great side, but we've got to go and show that we're, you know what I mean? Let's go and earn the right to be champions. Because if we did win that game, the whole momentum shifts. I think I said earlier it's 6 points. It'd be a 9-point gap. And they'd have a game in hand. A 9-point gap, you're starting to look at it and thinking, because the momentum, and think of the momentum that would carry you through as well. Because you're like, yeah, we just dealt with City. It's all there. So, but the thing that I saw on Saturday, and I think that still was in the fans' head, even last night, even though I didn't think we played particularly with fear, was that once we went 1-0 down, man, we were like a bit frightened. We've got to not be like that when we go up to City. Even we could go a goal down, we've got to still believe and have that sort of, you know, thing in our head that no, we're coming here to win. I agree with you, Jack, and you, Curtis. That mindset, coming here to win the game, man. We ain't coming here to fold. Let's show everybody. Because believe you me, I'm with you, Curtis. If we win this game, I think there's one hand on it. I do. I think there's one hand on it, man. Because games are starting to tick down now. You don't think there's one hand? You wouldn't say that, Lee? There's one hand on it. If 9 points clear,
wouldn't surprise me if we go up to Man City, beat them, and then slip up against Newcastle. Like, you know what I mean?
But then the thing is, you could afford to slip up against Newcastle. I truly think it's the other way. I truly think that it's if you win at City, the belief and momentum that gives you.
It should be.
That's what I believe.
It should take you over the line. It should be the one like. It should be a big wave that takes you over.
And it's a dagger to City as well. Let's remember that. It's a dagger to them. Because they'd be like, oh, we thought we were going to... And it'd be a real dagger to them. Because they've also got a few more difficult games as well. Not just us. Remember, they've also got games to play. So we've got to go out there with belief, man. We've got to go out there with belief. I think we've got to get predictions in. It's going to be interesting. We look at the table, 42. Oh, Jack's catching up. 42 behind, 35. I'm still bottom. But what we saying on this one?
Go on, Lee. Just remember, I'm 2 points behind.
I bet he won't say 2-0 this week, will he?
I'm 2 points behind. If you don't get this, then I do.
1, Arsenal 2.
Oh, okay.
So now I have to play the game. Do I get rinsed in the comments for not backing Arsenal? Or do I go with what I actually predict will happen so I can go number 1 on the leaderboard? 3-0 City.
Talk about want to get on the leaderboard. He wants that shirt so badly, like it.
I'm sorry. You can't blame me for thinking that might happen.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna go with my prediction when we was going doing the scores. So I'm gonna go Manchester City 1, Arsenal 1.
That's exactly what I'm going for as well. I think it's going to be 1-1 as well. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I've been thinking that all week. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw as well. But hopefully, when we come back on Monday, Lee is 5 points clear.
Mate, I hope so too. You think I'll care about the shirt if we go and slap City up? Guys, prediction does not mean I'm not backing my team. Is what I think will happen.
Jack, by the way, can I ask you, because I had a feeling you was going to go City win, but 3-0, like I thought you'd go like 2-1 City or something.
You know what it is that if we're going to lose, I think it will be bad.
It wasn't even 2-0 in the final. It wasn't even 3-0 in the final, sorry, and we were terrible.
I think it's different. But yeah, go on. I don't want to talk about it. I'm still backing the team. I want Arsenal to win. I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I want you all to clown me when I'm wrong. Please. It's just a prediction.
The final one standing, of course, returns back at 3 p.m. You've got to get your entrance in before that on Saturday, right? Final one standing, in case you guys don't know, the way this game is played, William Hill's final one standing is you have to pick a team to win this weekend, right? If the team that you pick loses or draws, you're out, right? That's why I went out on Monday because I went Man United. They lost, so I was knocked out in the first round and beat Robbie. But of course, we've got beat judges, right? He went last week for Sunderland to beat Spurs, and he got that one right. He's still in, right? So we're all playing against Lee this weekend. Lee, let us know your pick. Remember, you've got to be over 18 to play this. Based in the UK or Ireland only. Terms and conditions apply. There's link is in the description. Get all the information. And if you wish to play, just click onto that and go through to the app. But Lee, who have you gone for in this week's final one standing?
Listen, before I give my pick, right, we've got to talk about you. You're an absolute disgrace. A disgrace. You put pressure, untold pressure on me to get this right. Now, I've not slept since we lost to Brentford. And then all of a sudden they put this on me the next day. On the Monday night, I now win 98p. Me and Jack win 98p thanks to you. We can't even buy a beer with that.
All right. Well, yeah, let's see what you got.
All because of you, right? You're a disgrace. And I need to get the credibility back for us. I'm going for Leeds United. I can tell you why they're playing Wolves. If you have a look at every game, they're very, very difficult this week. I know you've got to put your picks now as well to beat me. There's some very, very difficult ones. I'm not really worried what you pick, Rob. Hopefully you've not picked Leeds, because that will be a little bit of a curse. But I'm worried about what Jack and Curtis have got as well. But I'm going for Leeds United to beat Wolves. In form, Leeds United.
Oh, I'm going to go Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest to beat Burnley at home.
That was my second choice, Jack. Well played, son.
Well fought.
Yeah, I'm going Villa. I'm going Villa to beat Sunderland at home Sunday.
All right.
Could be a draw, that one.
I'm going for Arsenal. No, I'm not.
Hey, please.
I'm going for Nottingham Forest as well to beat Burnley.
See, Jack, you know
Well,
what?
hold on a minute. Remember, I went for Atletico Madrid to beat Barcelona. Got that right, didn't I? Right, so and the logic. You see, the thing is, right
twice a day, Rob. That's all I'm saying.
You see why Judges is such a hater, because the logic he just used to go for Leeds to beat Burnley was exactly the same logic I used to go for Manchester United to beat Leeds. They hadn't lost at home to them since 1981. So
I've gone for Leeds because I just got very impressed with Leeds against West Ham, and I was very impressed with them against
they were brilliant against United.
Man United. The only thing that I was a little bit worried about was that those two fantastic performances away from home. Can they back it up with a home one? But
and Wolves are the sort of team they can pull off a little.
They can do, but listen, I shouldn't be in this position. You've put me in this position, where the pressure's on. Do you know what I mean? So
well, yeah, but you've been slagging off the team for not taking the pressure, so you should be able to handle it as well, isn't it?
Well,
yeah.
Let's bring it on. I'm confident. I'm confident in Leeds.
Right. Let's get the comments of the day in. You want me to start?
Go for it.
All right. I got one here from Neil Tickus. He says, you cannot be a legend winning one title, especially when you're forever saying most of these players were dreadful. A legend is Henry, Ronaldo, Messi, Serge, Gerrard, and players who've done it for years. Now, listen, when I'm saying legend in the last show, I mean an Arsenal legend. I'm saying, and I am standing by it, that if those players win the title, those players will be bigged up for the rest of their careers as the players that won Arsenal their first title after 22 years. Amongst the fans, they will be written down as... Wiltord wasn't Arsenal's best player, far from it. But he's remembered, as Curtis mentioned his name earlier on, for that goal that he scored that helped us to go and win that title. Michael Thomas was not, Arsenal's best player, but he's a legend at Arsenal, absolute legend. So, yeah, when you're talking about legends of the actual game, Ronaldo, yeah, we get that. But a legend at Arsenal Football Club, you go and win this title, you're a legend.
Well, talking about legends, we have a comment here from Scott284 that says, Curtis is a legend. His rebuttals are always on point. I ain't rode my bike in years, doesn't mean I forgot, which I remember from that show.
Quality coming.
Curtis's one-liners are my favourite thing about this pod. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Trolley one was funny.
Yeah. A lot of people have been saying that as well afterwards.
I got my one is from Donna Ketty. Lee is so pissed he's dropping Zubimendi twice for the same game. Like, I don't know what I said. So I looked that back and I said, "Oh, that extra beer I had was not a good thing." Like just before coming on the show, like, you know what I mean?
I've got one here from Thierry Henry 6GB. He said, "We're taking more risks in our own 6-yard box than we do in the opponent's half."
Yeah.
And Raya again yesterday, man, nearly.
You know what? That is a great comment. That is definitely the best comment I've heard today. Because it's true. Take them risks up the top or in the midfield, not round the back. A great comment. Just before we go, I've got to ask Lee. I asked him yesterday when we was doing the starting 11. Well, he answered it, but guys, I was just at this event on Tuesday, and there was this lady who came up to me, and she goes, "Robbie, I sat next to Lee, or I sat behind him. Ask him if he's okay after the Bournemouth game." So I said, "Well, yeah, no, he was distraught." She goes, "No." She goes, "He punched the wall with such ferocity that I thought he broke his hand."
Well, Lee.
And Lee confirmed yesterday that the lady was actually telling the truth. How is your hand? Is it all right?
Yeah, it's all right. Actually, I've done it, and in about 15, 20 minutes, I turned around to my mate Kevin. I said, "Like, bloody hell, I've hurt my hand there." Like, you know what I mean? So,
I don't blame you.
Well, listen, let's hope at the weekend you're punching it up in the air with joy, right? You know what I mean? And it's a big win. This is a big weekend, guys. Massive, massive weekend. We'll be back to talk about it, of course, on Monday.
Rob, can I just say something before we go?
Yeah.
Can I just say something before we go? It is a massive game on Sunday. And listen, we've had some bad news given to me yesterday that my mate Adrian, who's fighting cancer, has been told yesterday that there's nothing more they can do, and it's likely that he's got about 2 months to live now. Like, you know, he's 47 years of age, he's got a young family and all that. And I've been speaking to him before we come on, very upsetting and all that. Obviously, he's upset, but he said, like, Arsenal got to win this league now. You know what I mean? Like, in his last couple of months. So, if Arsenal can ever get listened to this and all that, yeah, just go and win it now for my mate Adrian. Like, that's all I want us to just go and win this title for him now. Like, you know, I'm hoping to get him in the studio in the next week or so, and try and get him to a game before he passes. But even in his, you know, obviously this bad way he is and this terrible news that he's had, it's still important to him that Arsenal win this league. And you know, so just want to say, like, you know, everybody's thinking about him and everything like that. It's just devastating news. But this is what this football club, I know that is, this is what this football club can do. It can give you that little bit of happiness even in terrible, terrible times. And you know, that, so like, for me now, I want to win this league for Adrian. Like, you know, I want Arsenal to win this league for him. Like, you know, so and listen, thanks for all the support over the few months that we've had. Like, we've done a show with him, didn't we, Rob? And yeah, so I don't really want to leave it on a somber note, but he's desperate for Arsenal to win this league, and you know, and the Champions League in his last few months. So come on, Arsenal. Can do this.
Well said.
Do it.
Well said,
mate.
And
Well
you
said,
know, our prayers go out to him and his family, and let's hope Arsenal can win this league for him. Guys, thank you very much. We'll be back on Monday. Big weekend. Manchester City versus Arsenal. Let's get this job done, please. Thank you.
Who's that?
Right, let's make my picks now. Oh, that one's obvious.
Oh, well, go on then.
Yeah, that one there, Rob.
Are you sure about that?
I am.
Well, maybe we should do beat Lee then.
Yeah, why not?
Well, if you think you can beat Lee, let's do it.